Michael, please would you explain to me, what does the term eternal begetting mean, in view of the fact that the word beget lexically has a fixed meaning? It means to come into existence. I don't get my mind around at all. I don't begin to understand the meaning of the eternally begotten Son. Would you explain it for us, please?
Yes. Well, this is a kind of a sticky question because it has so many different contexts. Now, I do affirm the eternal generation of the Son. Whether I would call that eternal begetting, I don't know that I would use that kind of language. But the word begotten, if we're talking about monogenes, I would say that it doesn't actually mean begotten, but means one and only. We see monos and genos having one new and not two. So that to me would mean one and only, the one and only God who was at the Father's side, or literally by the Father's bosom. And so I guess that's how I would respond. Now, so far as the eternal generation, simply what I would say regarding that is that the Father and Son and Spirit consist in and of themselves by nature. That is, you can't have the Father without the Son, you can't have the Son without the Father, and so forth. So that's how I would understand that. Thank you.
Michael, historically they talked about the begotten before all ages. That's what I mean by eternal begetting, eternal generation, same idea entirely. C.S. Lewis says it's like one book leaning on another. As a linguist, I reject that. Now means to bring into existence. And so Psalm 2:7, today I've become your father. That is, I have brought you into existence today. Would you please explain the word today in a way the public can grasp easily and clearly? Because on this depends the whole question of the pre-existence of the Son.
Just to briefly respond to that, again, Mr. Buzzard, I think I've made this very clear. When we talk about the Son being begotten, and that to mean that he, I do not see that referring to his divine nature, which is so clear in Galatians 4. But when the fullness of time had come, God had sent forth his Son, born of woman, born under law. We see the verb ex apostella there, very emphatic meaning. The etymology ek, from out, apostella meaning sent forth. That's a verb that demands pre-existence. So I don't simply key in on that one phrase begotten and pour all kinds of things into it that are not present and that don't jive with the text. Secondly, you keep making points about the synoptics. I'll be happy to defend the pre-existics all day given the time. And unfortunately, we just don't have that opportunity. So I think I touched on eternal generation, the subsistence of the Son and the Father and then the Spirit are consubstantial to one another. That's how I would understand that. Very much along the lines of the great American theologian. I would commend his work to you. Thank you.
Yeah, Michael, thank you so much. I've read a lot of the Hodges and the rest of them. I still find this very baffling, as did Adam Clark, who said that this eternal begetting thing is very dangerous. I don't understand what today means. In this statement, today I have become your father, how is today a word to describe timelessness? And if so, when God said to the Israelite, today you're to move on, couldn't Moses have said, well, wait a minute, you're God, when you say today, it could be any day you like? Please explain the word today quite expressly for me, please.
Yeah, I'll be happy to. When we look at where that text is used in the New Testament, we see in Acts 13 that text is applied. When we see that today I have begotten you, I would say that being that that's repeatedly in the context of the resurrection, that's how I would understand that. And again, I don't simply isolate that one text. I try to harmonize it with the totality of the text. So that's how I would understand today, being that there was a finite point in time when he was resurrected. Thank you.
Michael, what I'm trying to do is to track down this word beget. I found it in Psalm 2:7 today. I find it in Luke 1:35. I find it in Matthew, related to the birth, that's to say the begetting. And I don't think you fully dealt with the meaning of the word, which is to bring into existence, which for ordinary speakers of Greek or English means that you're not already in existence. That's a fixed point for me. But you know, in Acts 13:33, I think there's been some fiddling there, because the King James adds the word again, which is not there. And F.F. Bruce, Vine even, Robertson's Word Pictures, and many other commentators point out that Acts 13:33 actually refers to the beginning, the raising up of Jesus, like the raising up of Pharaoh, the raising up of David. Verse 34, by contrast, is a reference to the resurrection. So that won't work. Now we've got 1 John 5:18, where we have the one who was begotten, aorist tense, single event in the past, referring to Jesus. So this beget word actually is the word that's going to settle this issue once and for all eventually, I think. And I'm not happy with today being moved all over the place into eternity, because Trinitarians say, well, with God, today has no time sense at all. Do you agree with that?
Yeah. Well, firstly, when we say that the Son is eternally begotten, okay, we're talking about creedal language here. Okay, now, yes, the scriptures do say in a number of places that the Son was begotten, and as I have repeatedly said, I think this is going on the fourth time, of course the Son was begotten. The Son was born just as all human persons are born, in the womb of their mother. I do not think that the Son was always human. Rather, I think the Son was conceived at a specific point in time as to his humanity. And it's not as if I'm running off into some two natures caveat. No, I believe that's exactly what the scriptures teach, as I noted Galatians 4:4, among other texts. Thank you.